All right. I call the meeting to order. City of Washington Common Council meeting, May 10th, 2021. May we have a moment of silence for our veterans and our COVID-19 victims, please. Thank you. Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Councilman Lunsford.
Here.
Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Gress.
Here.
Councilman Campton.
Here.
Councilman Emmons.
Here.
Councilman Dahl.
Here.
Councilman Showalter.
Here.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the April 26, 2021 public hearing and regular meetings that's in front of you tonight. Any questions on, any changes?
I move we approve those as written.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve as written. Councilman Gress was, seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Written presentation of the claims tonight. Anybody have any questions or concerns on these?
The one, Beth, that says payment in lieu of tax, and, is that and sales tax? Is that just,
Okay, where's the, give me page number, please?
remember what was that?
This page of City of Washington.
Yeah, City of Washington. I mean, like, one was 73,000, one was 47, one was 46. It says payment in lieu of
Yeah,
taxes
payment
for
in lieu of
May.
taxes. That is the, that's their pilot payment, monthly pilot payment. Each,
That's all it is, or is it taxes too?
It's just pilot payment.
Okay. I've never noticed that it said sales tax for April underneath
Sometimes
of
I
that.
think they might combine those. Let me see.
Okay, yeah.
Sales, okay, yes, they have combined those.
One's
That's
electric,
sales
one's
tax.
water.
Yes,
Yeah, and sewer.
Yeah, and sewer down there too, yes.
yes, that's
So they
correct.
probably combined them and?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't really see anything else.
Yeah. I didn't see anything looking through them today. I mean,
Make a motion that we send them on to the Board of Works. for
Councilman Emmons makes a motion to send them to the Board of Works for approval.
Second.
Councilman Lunsford seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Comments from the public other than what's on the agenda tonight? Yours will be a little bit later. Hearing none, seeing none. We'll move on. No resolutions tonight. We have two ordinances. We got the first one, final reading of ordinance number 7-2021.
I'll make a motion to read that by title only.
Councilman Campbell makes a motion to read by title only.
Second.
Councilman Dahl seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance number 7-2021, an ordinance to establish the American Rescue Plan, ARP, Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund 176.
Okay. All right, let's see, where did we do?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Yes,
I will
motion,
second that.
Councilman Brown makes a motion approved, Councilman Campbell seconds. And we need a roll call vote, please.
Yes. Councilman Lunsford.
And stop
Brown?
supervisor.
Aye.
Councilman Gress.
Aye.
Councilman Campton.
Aye.
Councilman Emmons.
Aye.
Councilman Dahl.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Okay,
Unanimous.
all
Thank
right,
you.
this
You will sign that one.
ordinance will be in
Everybody-
force.
Everybody needs to sign.
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, right there, yes. Okay. Second, we have introduction of ordinance number 8-2021.
I'll make a motion to
Councilman Campton makes a motion to read this ordinance.
Do we want to read that ordinance if we're going to make any changes to it, or
Sure, we can, yeah.
will we have to reread it again as first ordinance?
Well, we can, but I mean, the ordinance itself is pretty short.
Not
The attachments,
You're not gonna-
where the changes that be
So
made.
not the
but yeah.
attachment, right? Okay, all right, I'm good.
Okay.
Second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Brown makes a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
All right, ordinance number 8-2021, an ordinance regulating noise in the city of Washington. Whereas the Washington Common Council has been made aware of the inadequacy of the city's loud noise ordinance contained at section 94-01 of the Washington Code of Ordinances. And whereas the Common Council has compared noise ordinances from other jurisdictions. And whereas the Common Council desires to maintain a peaceful community free from unreasonably loud and disturbing noise so as to not be detrimental to the public health, welfare, and municipal tranquility. Now therefore be it ordained as follows. Section 1, Section 94.01 of the Washington Code of Ordinances is hereby repealed in its present form and is replaced by the language contained in Attachment A of this ordinance. Section 2, this ordinance shall take full force and effect upon passage, passed by the Common Council of the City of Washington, Davies County, Indiana, this blank day of blank 2021. And as I mentioned, the meat of the ordinance, of course, really is in Attachment A, and I'm sure that's where any amendments would occur.
Chief Devine couldn't be here tonight, and he was supposed to have a replacement here for him, but I asked him about this tonight before, while I had him on the phone. He, along with myself, I first thought 80's too high. I personally, that's me, but I like to see that a little lower than 80. He would also like to see it. I mean, you know, he made a comment. I said, well, what would you like to see it? And he said he'd like to see it 55. Now, I'm not sure, you know, but I think what most of them I've seen, I haven't seen anything higher than a 70. I haven't. Some of the ones I've reviewed. So, I mean, I just want to throw that out there. That's just my opinion. I think it should be a little less than 80.
I also think it depends on where you're gonna take the measurement, because, you know, I think Evansville originally says it was at the place of the complaint, and this one's at the boundary of the property, so I think if you're at the side of the complaint and they're inside a house, that's lower than what you would have out there at the boundary, in my opinion, so, I don't know if I would, if we're gonna do the boundary as where we're gonna take it, I'm not sure I'd wanna go down to 55.
No, I'm not saying that either, yes. Yeah, I'm not saying that either, but yes, I think,
And I agree it should be less than 80, but, because I think that not much more than that, they're supposed to wear hearing protection, so.
Right. There needs to be a time frame on it too, or you're gonna get a lot of complaints during the day.
yeah, and he also said that too.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
As it's written now, it's
Okay, I don't,
that anytime, unless, I think we've exempted lawnmowers and permitted construction, but, you know, guy working on his car, you know, or guy at the workshop, or
Power tools.
carving an eagle, that would be above that limit, and that'll get us into neighbor complaints. So that'd be like daytime, either a different limit or no limit for the day.
okay, this is a good sign.
Several, if, I would, in that regard, I would point out that several of the exceptions do have specific times in which it is and isn't, and that, I think that's kind of what you're
Yeah, we
suggesting.
just need to make sure we include those other things.
Right.
Or, you know, a loud birthday party, and you got a cranky neighbor, you're gonna get a complaint.
Yeah.
So are you thinking just lower the decibel reading a little during those times? I mean,
Yeah,
it's been mentioned before to, at 1 o'clock, to, if a call's made to shut something down, and I completely disagree with that, so. Like 1 AM, I mean, that's been mentioned.
well, without any decimal readings, I felt like, I felt a little different about that, and maybe I misunderstood everything, but without no decimal readings,
Right.
with decimal readings, I think it's a different ballgame.
Okay. Maybe I misunderstood what you were
Well-
saying in the past, but.
I think the mayor was just trying to make concessions in the current ordinance,
Yeah,
because it's,
Right.
it could have been at 8 o'clock, we could have been doing it, enforcing it, but I think that he was trying to give a little bit of concession to allow it to longer time. I think that's the only
Yeah.
reason he said that originally,
Okay.
and
when we
it,
talked about it.
and it was
so.
maybe coming across the wrong, but,
So there is absolutely no time limit on this, right?
Except for a few
Other than
exceptions.
Except
the
for a
ones
few
that are in the exceptions,
Okay.
we're specifically talking about
Right,
time limits.
exactly.
And I noticed, you know, we didn't have like different ones for different zoning, so I didn't know if that was an issue too. if,
I set it up that way in case down the road we decide we want to be more specific within one zoning area, but right now it'd all be the same. You're right.
And that would just be simply to fix that, we just attach it to.
We'd
We
amend
would
it.
do an amendment later and specify that commercial or industrial or whatever's a different amount, different level.
I would think there'd be some logic to having a higher level in a commercial area
I do too.
than in residential.
And industrial too, I think that's even, that's an
That, I
issue
was,
too.
I was gonna say, the commercial and industrial are really two different things. I
Yeah.
get it in a commercial,
Yeah,
don't get it in a commercial, I do get it in an industrial. Because
If you're changing tires or whatever in a commercial area, you're gonna have,
well, I guess
No.
that's, yeah. But also, commercial would be the bars,
well, not that one, it's, the one in question is in a
Well-
it's zoned residential.
but it's still, you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you'd have to go by the zoning of that
Right, well, that means I could do it,
location.
you know,
Yes, you could, at a higher decibel.
yes, which I don't want to.
If we would change that, I mean, that's not necessarily even,
Yeah, I mean, you know,
I like the way, you know, you can come back and amend if we do, you know.
I tried to set it up that way, 'cause and I'm sure we'll be
It's-
adding exceptions as we go too, you know.
yeah, it's an ordinance that's,
And it really makes it hard, I mean, for me anyway, without being able to hear what 60 is.
An example,
what
yeah,
60,
yeah.
75. So as it stands, I mean, personally, I would go for something, it's either 60 or 65, you know. I don't know what everybody else would be coming.
going by this little thing here, you know, a conversation is 60, so,
I don't believe that.
and loud is 70, so I would agree with 65.
Yeah.
That's in between the,
Yeah, I would be happy to see.
Well, what was the chief wanted 55, start with?
well, what?
What was the chief's recommendation?
Chief said that, Chief Devine said that, but Evansville's pretty well got theirs at 55, but
no, there's a 75.
Oh, it is
75,
75.
75.
75.
there's one I've read, I mean, I may.
That's Carmel. Carmel's at 55.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Of course it is.
There's so many that we're,
Yeah, I looked at several, but you know, whatever you know, what we feel our council's discretion.
I feel like if you're looking at Evansville though, they're already loud as a town, just in general. And I think that's even why Carmel says theirs is lower.
Evansville is 75 in residential and 80 everywhere else.
Okay.
But again, it's up to you, but I'll give
I
it
mean-
60 or 65 personally.
So I guess there's a two-headed question here. Where, are we gonna have two different decibel readings? Like, are we gonna have one,
For the DV. I'm sorry.
are we gonna have one like, for daytime? I mean, like, after a certain hour?
Not according to this.
Of course, well, I mean, that's up to you all, but
So, and then I
I'd
guess
set it
the
up the
second,
same at all times.
the
but-
second part of my question is, do we back off of this and have a group, work on it as a group, or take a week or two to make changes and talk through emails or meet, or, I mean,
Well, we still have time to change it, you know, it's gonna change all the way until we read it a second time. We don't have to read it the second time the next meeting, so.
okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we feel like we wanna make changes,
I view this as a starting point.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and
that's what we asked him
and
to
it
do.
is,
And it's long-winded on the attachment, so it does get.
Pretty clever how I did the ordinance, though.
yeah, yeah.
I would suggest that, you know, that we make suggestions via email and, you know, and just to include Tim, and then we kinda decide what we think is good to change in it or add, and maybe.
Between now and the
consensus
next
of everybody.
meeting.
Right, so I guess can I ask like, what everybody's opinions are? Do we like just setting something 70 or 65, wherever, and just leaving it at the 1 decibel reading? Is that what the general consensus is? Or?
Day and night, is that what
Yes,
you're asking?
yeah.
My consensus is, cause I don't wanna hear it at day any more than I wanna hear it at night.
Right, so you
Because
don't-
I might be working nights.
It's,
Right.
I think it's something that, you know, I'm not saying we won't come back in and address it again down the road somewhere, because this hadn't been addressed for quite a while, and, I don't know if we'll get it, you know, perfect the
Right.
first time.
But at least get a decibel reading
Yeah.
set in and then.
Yeah, I think we've come a long way, yeah.
But we do need to put exemptions in for routine activities during the
Yeah,
day.
they're in there. They're in there.
Well, but
Some
he's
of them
talking
are,
about
some
like
aren't.
using power tools and those kinds of things, and that's not in there as an exception. So I guess I would ask you all as a group, is it your consensus that that should be an exception?
Is it,
I mean, a table saw would be over 80 decibels.
Sure would, yeah.
Okay.
Guy banging on his
I mean,
car.
it addresses garden, and lawn and garden equipment, but it doesn't talk about tools, power tools, you know, radio arm saws.
You didn't address construction though? 'Cause I think
It
that
does
would be-
construction, it
that
does
would be-
construction.
that's not
Could be,
part of
it, but,
Permitted construction.
yeah, that could be, you
Well,
know,
construction versus just woodworking out in your garage.
Okay.
so,
the
you
guy
know.
doing his own thing, yeah.
Or working in your garage in your car.
Yeah,
Now, that would
Grinder.
be where you would need to set hours, if you're gonna set hours.
well, like we have on some of the other things, like the
Right,
lawn and garden
right,
equipment. Yeah.
Exactly, that would be something,
And I mean, I think, you know, I think on things like that, you know, myself, I would say 10 or 11 o'clock, but until 6 AM. But is everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah, we've,
it would be 10 o'clock, yes.
Yeah. Shouldn't be working that late anyway.
No.
That's what I used to tell my dad, but.
Hang out there.
So let me ask you this too, there was another one in there that I read, it, you know, like I said, it's long-winded, so,
Mhm.
you know, I'll forget a lot of what I read, but I think you had the emergency generators in there somewhere.
Mhm. Emergency electricity generators in use during an emergency electrical grid outage.
What's an emergency though? If I can't get power at my house because
Yeah.
I can't afford it. is
Well,
that-
I don't know, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm asking, you know, because if you've ever lived with somebody that does that power and they're running the generator 24/7.
So it's pretty noisy, yeah, you're right.
You know, not taking away. from
Well, it says during an electrical grid outage. I don't think, I'm not paying your light bill.
I just wanna make sure that I.
That would be my argument to the judge, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
yeah, it's,
But no, like I said, I like it, it was good.
it's a tough ordinance.
The other thing I would point out to y'all is I completely took out the language from the Evansville ordinance about cars. Mufflers are already addressed by statute, and I talked with Trent about that, Derek wasn't available. He said, yeah, we've already got a state statute, so I didn't see any reason to bog down our noise ordinance with that. The other ones had to do with, the officer had to be able to measure within 25 feet and 50 feet, and I'm thinking, a moving vehicle? How the hell are you gonna be able to do that? So I just dropped all references to automobiles.
Okay, the other question I would have for you then too is on this decimal that we're using, because I'm really unclear about this part. Is the base a 60 decimal also, but just read in a different way?
The A and the C, that's the spectrum of frequencies that the meter
I know, but
samples.
is it still 60, would that still be the 60 decimal?
Yeah, I see what you're
Or
saying.
80 decimal, I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Should you have two?
Yeah, that would be my
We
question.
talked about that earlier one time.
I don't know.
Brought it
I'm
up,
asking.
yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of people like me, I don't care about the music, but that thumping drives me crazy. You know, I'll just put it out.
Well,
there.
honestly, that's what some of the problem's been in this case, the case we've been dealing with.
So that might be
It's
something.
been the
needed-
base, you know.
Added, and if 60's fine on that, I don't know how they.
I don't know how that
measure
reads.
it.
I'm not sure how those readings are on the CP.
Yeah, I don't know what,
I've seen,
Derek did a lot of investigation on that. I
That's
mean, maybe
something
we
you
should,
need to add it.
maybe we
look
should
at
have
that,
him-
You know, maybe.
I can reach out to him, make sure he can get that information out and send it in an email, and to all of us and Tim, and we can,
cause it'd be interesting to see what registers at a 60 music wise, and then
without
turn the
bass?
bass on and see what
Yeah.
the C scale
That
shows.
would be.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Because you may have to have, maybe we have two scales or something.
That's what I'm asking. I don't know.
That's a good point. I mean,
I don't either. I can reach out to him and have him, we can try to get the answer for that. So, it can be included if you like.
I did also email just right before the meeting that you guys can read, a 2002 ordinance that the city tried to do almost 20 years ago. They had some good things in it too that you might look at.
I saw it on the way here, but I didn't have time.
It's got crazy times though, like at 7 PM, you can't even mow your grass. But I mean,
Yeah.
but there are maybe some things in there that you can use in your mind to deliberate. Maybe we should add it to our ordinance that we are trying to write, so just for food for thought.
Okay.
It's a pretty good draft, Tim.
Yeah, it's a start. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
good
I
start.
viewed it as a starting point.
Yeah.
So I mean, is the preference in for 65? Is that what I heard on the decibels?
I'm thinking 55, 60 after 11 PM.
So you'd like to separate the late hours from the
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
daytime
if I
hours?
was trying to sleep in a house, I wouldn't want moderate noise
Mhm.
in my bedroom, if that's what it's reading inside my house.
Well, right
But
now,
this isn't in
this is
your
reading,
house.
this is
But
reading property,
well, would you get what I'm saying? If it,
Right.
this is property level, so that's why I said 65.
Once again, I'm just gonna throw this out
And there's
there.
difference.
Never once have they showed up at his house.
I'm
That
not
particular
saying that,
house,
I'm just-
And it been anywhere close to that.
and
So I'm just
that's beside the
reiterating.
point, I'm just saying, using
Right.
this here,
No, I agree.
if it was moderate to noisy in my
But you gotta go
house,
both ways, because obviously the complainant's also saying that when he calls the police, somehow they turn the music down immediately. So, I don't know how that's happening, but, so you gotta look at it both ways.
Right, no, I agree.
Well, think about it. I mean, you don't really have to, and let Tim know what consensus is on that decimal reading. And I'll talk to Derek about the other, on the base, and see if we can come up with an answer there.
Do we have-
Anything else you had, like I say, shoot an email.
And then the other issue is whether or not you want it the same at all times, or do you want it to change overnight? I mean, obviously I can make any adjustments you all wanna make, but
I would think that you want it overnight,
Or
I think it's about half and half from what I'm hearing here on that.
Yeah.
I disagree completely. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at all these other cities, they're not changing it at nighttime, so
They just have it.
they have a standard and it
Steady.
stays the way it is.
But they do it by zone too, though.
Yes.
Lower in residential, higher
Yes,
in.
absolutely, and if you guys wanna look at that, we can. I still feel like the majority of the people are looking at this as one situation and not as a city.
Well, this is gonna be an ordinance that'll be for the whole city.
yeah.
So-
This is not just
Oh,
for,
see, I am looking at it as
Yeah.
entire city. I'm
Wonder
not-
how we would have been able to
Yeah.
handle this when we had McCords and Sears,
Yeah,
Duval, and,
when you had a lot of industry.
I mean, wow.
Well, I mean, they talk about how loud
I grew up
the,
listening to that all night.
they talk about how loud the coupling is down there at the rail car.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's loud too.
well, that is an exception, but yeah, you're
That's-
right.
But yeah, that arc welder, is
Yeah.
that what you're
So, yeah,
talking about?
well, and even just the coupling of them all.
Train,
Well,
train,
that-
coupling, yeah.
Y'all, that arc welder they
Yeah.
use, I mean, it's not called an arc.
So that's why you have to have those exceptions to be able to allow.
Right.
business to
You can't
Yeah,
resume their
But even the
duties.
ballparks, I mean, I can hear the ballparks from my house.
Oh, yeah.
Too, well, yeah.
The sound.
Two blocks
Be a
away,
neighbor.
yeah.
But anyway, as far as the nighttime, we just putting, again, since we're here, putting an opinion out. The only way I would agree with Kenny on that nighttime, if we did put a high, if we were
Number
going
to
with
that.
75 or 80, then definitely
Then much slower at night, yeah.
much lower than that. But if we're going with a 60 or 65,
Kind of
at the
average.
property line, I think that'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
Again, that's just.
At the property line, it is different than,
I know a
Yeah.
long time ago, we had an issue with derby cars and working on derby cars. Is there a separate ordinance for derby cars?
I don't think so.
Not as far as that noise, no.
No.
Not
as
on
far as
noise.
Okay.
And,
Just
They
they have to be licensed and
Yeah, they-
street ready.
and that can be an issue. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's been well, I don't know how recent, I just remember a while back.
No, it's been,
It wasn't too long ago I heard it.
yeah.
So maybe.
Oh, I
That
hear
might
it.
be something we wanna look at.
But usually, like the derby cars, because I have neighbors also.
Yeah.
And it's for a half an hour, it's for 45 minutes.
Right.
It's not
Yeah,
all.
Yeah. 8 hours a day.
most generally, yes.
So, And
Well-
again, it would still fall under this, but you still
Yeah.
have to have the complaint.
Yeah, yeah, that's the key there, but yeah, well, think about it, emails, you know, your concerns, your thoughts, and, we'll see if we can make some adjustments and bring it back to the next meeting.
I mean, just for example, the one from 2002 says 55 decibels between the hours of 7 PM to 7 AM. And then it changes it to 64 decibels at all times in commercial and 66 in industrial at all times. And I'm assuming the way this is written, between the hours of 7 AM to 7 PM, you can be as loud as you want in residential.
I think so, I got
That's the way I read it. So, and that is also at the boundary of the property too, when they wrote it back then.
Now, why did that not, do you know why, does it say why they did not adopt it?
I think both times that they've brought an ordinance up to the city council is the expense of the instruments.
Yeah, I don't think we ever had them,
Because back then, he actually had the quotes. that
and
they
they
had
was a
for
lot higher
instruments.
back then.
2002, the instruments were $3,500
Yeah,
a piece.
and they're like 600 now.
2009, I think it was when we looked at it too. It was just,
But at least that does go to show you this has been an ongoing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now's the time to actually put one forth and pass it, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, we've came this close, we need
and
to,
like I said, be prepared to make adjustments
Oh,
as,
yeah.
as we learn and we get feedback from the officers too.
yeah, yeah, this is gonna be,
Yeah.
yeah, this is, could be something we'll have to relook at sometime. Okay, all right, if any other questions or concerns about this? If not, this ordinance will be up for adoption next council meeting.
So if we make changes, we won't be voting it in next council meeting, correct?
We could very well table it
Mhm.
again at that point. If
We wouldn't
there's
have to,
changes
though.
will be made.
No, we could approve it with the changes,
With changes.
yes.
So my second question, since we extended the mask mandate and everything, I'm gonna be on vacation for the next meeting. I'm gonna be in, northern Indiana. Is it possible to still call in since we extended the mask deal?
You still don't have that option, or?
We're
My
still,
understanding is if we do that, then we have to have a roll call on everything we vote on, including, reading ordinances and that sort of thing. You can still do it, but you have to have a roll call vote on everything that requires a vote.
And hopefully, this.
Even like approving the minutes, approving the claims,
Everything.
everything?
Right.
But I get it, it's an important issue, you want your vote.
Yeah.
So if it takes us an extra 10 minutes, so be it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I just wanna get your guys' opinion on that, and if not, if we make changes and it goes to the next one, then that would be fine with me too, but.
Yeah, I looked into that because somebody brought that up last time.
if we don't get the changes in time and stuff, and we don't get it done, we'll just have to table it.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be done the next meeting, but.
Good.
And if we do,
But-
I guess I'll just get with the mayor closer to time.
Yeah,
I'll do a
yeah,
conference
see where
call
we
if
stand.
If we think we're gonna vote on it.
Make
I'll
sure
do
you
a
get the right
conference call,
number,
and If
though.
not, I'll save everybody the time and.
Make sure you get the right number.
I
Verify,
don't know
verify
what
it with
guys
me,
do.
verify it with me.
But hey, she's batting like, that's one number probably out of 5 million, so.
Yeah, and it was one number off.
Right,
If you'd have just went one up,
right.
you'd have been there.
Okay. All right, that's what we'll do. All right. Moving on, other business, Clint Morgan's here with the 20th Century Chevy to discuss plans for their car show event in September, to request permission from the club to have fireworks show.
Good evening. This was all going back to last year. It was the club club's 50th anniversary. They wanted to do something special and have a fireworks show. So we had some donations, and since we canceled due to COVID-19, we had donations, and the people who donated were generous enough to let us keep them for this year. So that's basically what I'm here for. So for Saturday, September 18th at 10 p.m., we would like to have a fireworks show at the Upper Lake at the Park, which is the first form I gave you guys there, the site inspection form. It's the same site as Washington's July 4th show. The second piece there is our contract with Boomer's Fireworks and Display, which is Randy Rustin. He's the same gentleman that does the fireworks for the city of Washington. Document 3 is the shooter's resume. Document number 4 is his federal explosive license, which shows it expires July of 2023, so I'd say he's gonna be good in September. Document number 5 is a shoot list of the proposed fireworks. It is labeled 2020. All those, you know, he's got the fireworks, so he's kept them in his locker or whatever you keep them in. Number 6 is his certificate of liability insurance for the display on September 18th for $2 million. I did a little looking today. It looks like the state requires a minimum of 10,000, and the city, I think, requires a minimum of 1 million. I don't know if that's accurate. I looked up some stuff online, that's the best I could find.
That sounds right. When I was in there, that's, I believe that's right numbers.
Yeah. And then, the policy also lists 20th Century Chevy as additionally insured. Document number 7 is the required Indiana Homeland Security permit for the fireworks display for September 18th, starting time 10 p.m., signed by Fire Chief Steve Walden. And document number 8 is an email from City Attorney Mr. Dan stating that he reviewed all the documents and finds them to be in order. So, again, I guess what I'm requesting the fireworks to happen, as well as we're gonna need some other stuff too. I wanna be able to restrict at least 300 feet from the shooting site. If we can, at 5 p.m., that allows Randy to start setting up his fireworks. You know, static electricity is probably an issue. I just don't want somebody to be out there fishing and get hurt.
Yeah, we've always made a move in the past and cleared the area.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do if we could. And then, OWIP cleanup is finished after display because he has to address, anything that doesn't go off, he has to do some stuff with. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
And then also I'd like to do road closure of Glenwood Drive from 9 p.m. until after display is finished, which would be around 10:10 p.m.
And that's what we've done at July 4th. We close it there at both ends. There's just keep people out of that area just so it's safe and nobody wanders in.
Yep.
And, yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
And I spoke to,
Kip?
Mr. Walden.
Oh,
Fire Chief Walden, he verbally said that he would have a fire truck there and 2 firemen on site. And I also spoke with Police Chief Derek Devine earlier today, and he verbally said that he would have a police officer on site from 7:30 until it was finished. He did say though that if he couldn't have someone dedicated to that one spot, it might be someone who's down at the park that would run up.
and that's the way they've done it. They've not really had one sit right there at that spot.
Yeah, I figured not, but
Yeah, and these assortments you got there, that's low dosage. We used to, back in the day, we used to shoot some 6 and 8s and they get a little bit different, but there's nothing bigger than a 4 here.
yeah, and actually, on the site form, the very first one, you know, I even noticed it says maximum size shell based on measurements taken is 4 inches. So,
Yeah, we used to shoot them off ourselves at the fire department, and the guys went to school and did training for that, but still, we had some 6s and 8s, and, yeah. It was
you feel those go off.
you can, yeah. Yeah, you don't want, yeah. So, yeah, that's, have you been in front of the park board yet?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
talked to Kip Kelly about it already, and Kip said to go ahead and come here.
Yeah,
I'm actually unable to go to the park board meeting this month because my daughter's in 8th grade and it's 8th grade.
but there's several of them between, in the next
Yeah,
few months.
So I'm planning on going in June,
Okay,
but he did say that it was approved last year, because I did go last year,
yeah.
and he didn't see where there would be any issue, because
No.
everything's the same.
And I've talked to him briefly about this, like I said, we had everything ready to go last year,
Right.
and COVID knocked it out.
So what
Make a
do,
motion.
He's just asking for our approval.
so do we need to approve?
Mhm.
So I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Councilman Kempton makes a motion to approve this, and Councilman Showalter seconds. All in favor? Opposed?
Does he have, or, no, he doesn't have to stay, but I mean, does the Board of Works have to approve the road closure? I mean, or is that, does it have to?
We normally have the Board of Works, a lot of times we run it by them, whether it's now or
Closer to the time.
closer to the time, which we can do that.
I mean, not necessarily you have to be there, but I mean, I think it has to be done, at least the road closure.
Yeah, yeah. And we can do that. We can do it, like I say, we can run that on the board, when it gets closer even.
Do you want me to come back then, or are you guys gonna take care of that?
Why don't you just add it to the agenda
Or
tonight?
not, yeah.
Yeah, we can add it to the agenda tonight, but we'll just, under other business, we'll approve it tonight.
Okay.
Right after this meeting, we'll have a Board of Works.
I mean, I can stick around if you guys want. It doesn't matter.
Is it just gonna be you?
Just, me and
Shouldn't
Dave.
be any problem.
Yeah, you should be good. If there's a problem, I'll call you,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, David Jefferson.
But yeah, okay. Okay, the only other thing I have, I just want to bring one thing to the attention of and I don't care who that can say, we're gonna have to come up with a committee for this American Rescue Plan. I mean, we're gonna, but it's a committee that we need to get together and talk about, our list of, what we'd like to see done with the money. We gotta come up with a plan. And, I'm looking to get a committee together just to talk about the plan, to talk about, projects we have that fits the need of the American, Rescue Plan. And, I just wanted to bring that up tonight. You know, I don't care how many's really on it. We can have a couple council members, we can have more, just whatever you guys feel, but, I thought Alan being the president of the board, myself, Beth, and David being on the Board of Works, and if anybody else wants to join, you're more welcome, but that's what we're going to talk about, is get our plan together, so we know, and I got maybe, because we haven't got true guidance yet. It's not total guidance. We're going to put it in the fund that we created, and we're going to look at this, because the last thing we want to do is do something we shouldn't
But
do.
we need to be ready, so.
Yeah, but we got to be ready. We got to have a plan. So,
There are, right before I came tonight, I got an email from David Shelley, and they said that they had some more information about maybe some of the possible use of the funds. So they're kind of just giving us a little bit here and a little bit there. I don't think anybody has a definite, yes, we can do this, or no, we can't do that yet.
And-
It's just very vague.
and if we wanted other, like SIDC has offered to help the city and the county with this. They've been doing some research and stuff, but if we want their assistance, they'd be glad to help us with this.
Yeah,
But
most times, something like that, you'll need them to help.
yeah, Greg Jones is, we've talked, we've had some Zoom meetings on it already. So they're there. But I thought we'd have a meeting, and then I told him that we'd get them involved in it too. Yeah. So,
I'd be interested in being on that, but is there a rule where only X amount of us?
no, not on this.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah, there can't be more than 3 of us on it unless then we'd have to have everything advertised and be public meetings. So three'd be the limit on it, unless we want to do public meetings whenever we do it, but
Well, yeah, we
we'd
just,
have to advertise and everything else.
yeah, it's a lot more. And then we'll definitely, whatever we come up with, it'll report back to this board.
Right.
Everything will be reported back to the board. We won't make any decisions without reporting back to the board, so all the council members are gonna be involved when it's all said and done. We just wanted to kind of get some line items, get some project, I've got a few things wrote down just for, conversation.
I can forward you emails and things that I get from Baker Tilly or places like that, to give you more information as I get it.
So did you want to be on it then? Because we can have 3.
Yeah, was there anybody else that wanted to? If not, then yeah, I'm good.
You're fine. That's okay.
And like I say, well, it's just, we just gotta come up with a plan. County's doing the same thing, with their money and their plan. Okay, and I'll get with you guys, the ones that say, I'll get, and we'll try to line something up together and come up with a meeting so we can discuss it. And then we'll report back to the council. Okay. That's all I got, for tonight. Councilman Grush, you got anything for us? David?
No, the highway's come along pretty good.
Yeah, the highway, asphalt got down today. Well, it looks like to me they got a few approaches yet to do, and if everything goes right, next day or two, I mean, they gotta put that surface coat on, 1.5 inch surface coat on it yet, but, next couple of days, they got a lot done today. We should be done by the end of this week. We should have that all in place. Okay? Alan,
No, I'm good.
Tim?
I'd just like to thank the mayor for throwing out the first pitch at Little League last weekend, and especially the softball league, although his pitch was wide and high, but my granddaughter bravely went up and got it.
And I didn't realize that was your granddaughter until after it was over with. But they both catch, my grandson and your granddaughter caught the ball.
They did.
I was a little high, right, but it wasn't extremely,
They
it
didn't
wasn't.
bounce it, huh?
They caught it, so that was the main thing. So, yeah, it was good.
Saved you from a wild pitch.
Yes, yeah,
And you did make it to the plate.
yeah, it made it. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good day, and it's a good day for Little League, and, yep. Doug,
I have nothing.
Randy,
I think I'm good.
Darren?
I'm good.
Okay, Beth? Anything from the audience? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, this means adjourned. Board of Works in 5 minutes. Let's call this meeting to order. City of Washington Board of Public Works Safety Meeting, May 10th, 2021. First thing we have is approval of the minutes of the April 26th, 2021 regular meeting.
I move we approve those.
Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve it. I'll second it. Just two, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Second thing, we have some pay applications. First pay application, number 2, is for S&S Filter LLC, water treatment plant, filter media replacement.
It's in the amount of $76,277.17. We've reviewed it, recommend payment, and as we speak tonight, the filter project is complete.
That went pretty quickly then.
Yeah, so with the approval of this, the only thing you'll have left is about $15,000 they haven't billed yet, and another $7,700 in retainage, but I recommend payment in said amount.
Okay, yeah, and I did check with them tonight, and the only thing we did, we sent some tests off, and we're just waiting for the results to come back for those tests.
Which that was your responsibility?
Yes, that was our responsibility, yeah. I just wanted to know that since we was talking about this project, yeah. Yep.
I move we approve it.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve this. I'll second it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, let's see, that's a copy of that. Next, we have pay application number 10 for Don Gress Construction, Business 50 West on the roadway. This was already approved with RDC. And
Will be.
this one hasn't been approved yet?
No, it'll go.
Oh, 5-7, okay, and Tim, okay, I see that, I'm sorry. And Tim has said, think it's good for both this board and RDC to both approve these.
That's what we did with the last one.
Yeah, and so that's what this is for, amount of $381,228.37.
I move we approve that one.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve, and I'll second it. Okay,
Come out of community crossing.
Yes.
And I'll wire it out tomorrow to
okay, yeah.
the rest.
And then, like I say, Jeff McDonald will sign this, come on this month.
Signing in advance and people will do it.
Yeah, okay. And next, we have pay application number 9 for Don Gress Construction, Business 50 West Sewer.
Yes, it's in the amount of $13,042, and what that is for was, the mayor helped me on the street, was it Southeast 6th Street, where we didn't know if we was going to put a grinder in?
Yes, 6th Street, yes.
Anyway.
Southwest 6th.
Southwest, yeah. We ran the lateral line back behind to the alley, and so that's what that work is for on the sewer.
And then we didn't have, to put the grinder pump in, everything worked out.
Yeah, we talked about that, might have to be
Yeah.
a possibility.
Yeah.
And we've reviewed it, I've reviewed it and recommend payment in that amount.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Councilman Dahl seconds it. Okay. And pay application number 10, Don Gress Construction, Business 50 West Water.
It's in the amount of $16,626.46. Is that right, Beth? I don't have my glasses.
828.46, yeah, 828.46,
I'm sorry, I
yes,
bring my glasses.
yes.
Basically, that is pavement, sidewalks, that was in the water project, part of in the street, and so that's what that work pertains to. It's been reviewed and we recommend payment.
Are those both pretty well done then? What is it?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mhm.
There may be a little bit more in the water. I think the sewer's pretty well done, David.
Yeah,
I know there's gonna be at least $500 more because they wanted to revise it after I'd already submitted it, and I said do it next month, so there will be some.
yeah, we're just about done with that, both of those, yes.
I move we approve that one too.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve, I'll second that. Okay. We also have discussion approval of the claims that were submitted tonight to the Board of Works.
I move we approve those.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve the claims, and I second that. We got here, do we have reading the bank statements tonight?
Yes,
Sometimes.
all of the April statements have been balanced, and total amount in all of the banks $29,671,043.61, which includes interest of $3,677.48.
Okay. Any questions for Beth on these? All right. Very good, thank you. One other thing, we got discussion and approval of change order number 1 for S&S Filter LLC Water Treatment Plant filter media replacement.
Basically, that's an extension of time. They had trouble with shipping on getting the anthracite. It changes substantial completion from April 20th to April 30th. And, it changes substantial completion from April 20th to May 7th, and final completion from April 30th to May 10th. And they ordered it when they was awarded the contract, and they just had shipping issues, which is understandable with the way everything is right now.
Are they at
So,
substantial completion now?
yeah, it's completed, so.
I move we approve it.
Yeah, Richard called me on that, and Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve this change order, and I'll second it. Okay, anybody in the audience got anything for the Board of Works tonight?
We need to take care of that 20th century Chevy.
Oh, yes, yes. And look, tonight we had 20th Century Chevy asking for approval to close down Glenwood in 2 locations on their event in September. Down at the bottom in the upper part of the Glenwood from 9 p.m. to roughly 10:15, or whenever the fireworks get over with. I move we approve that. Okay, Councilman makes a motion to approve that road closure, and I'll second that. Okay, all right. Now, anybody in the audience got anything for the Board of Works? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, this means adjourned.